episode? Get everything? Okay. What was your introduction into the Oklahoma City hip hop scene? Like, what do you remember?
I came here, Oklahoma City, from Kansas City, from in 2001, and I can remember I was actually at a Dell the Funky Homo Sapien. He's a cousin of Ice Cube, big hip hop group called Hieroglyphics. We're in Lawrence, and it was like my last show. I was a former hip hop artist, but it was like my last show in Lawrence. Going and check out a show, and I told the homies, "Hey, I'm moving to Oklahoma." They go, "Man, Oklahoma's got a dope scene." I was like, "No way," I said, "No, they don't." He said, "No, it's really dope." And so, when I was in Oklahoma City, I was like a youth pastor at the time. I had got a flyer from Culture Shock Camp, and I remember driving back to my apartment on the south side, and I saw a white car, a white Galant. I remember like yesterday, and I literally just chased this car down because I recognized the big logo on the back of the car from the flyer. So I literally flashed my lights, ran this car literally off the road. Dude gets out, kind of like frantic, kind of like ready to check me and say, "Oh, chill, I got your flyer." And it was my good friend Keith the MC, and from there we went to Culture Shock Camp. Their big, just a big hip hop jam, and from that it was on. I met like my brother JB. From there I think the next week we recorded a song, and it was just on. So from there, me, JB, my good friend Disciple, this is the DJ, and we would rock. So then from there, became friends with Duo and Nemesis. It's really the bedrock, I believe, of Oklahoma City. Like, culture really taken to the next level. So like, I mean, 2000, the early 2000s was crazy, and so I remember, a lot of people don't know this, but your boy was the third runner up. What was it, the Samurai, MC Mike battle, and so like, I think it was James Coop Duo. I was the third runner up, but I just wanted to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Had bars back in the day, but I mean, the culture was just amazing, and I'm so excited when I hear things about like Hubbly Bubbly. It just takes me back to those moments. Even though I'm not per se out there rhyming or battling or performing anymore, but like you know part of growing this brand stems out of that bedrock of hip hop culture. And so, I love those dudes, and I'm always looking for the next talent. So, funny thing is, like you said, you're interviewing like LTZ, BB Man. Another fun fact, I produced their first three albums at my house. So like, and they were there on the ground floor when I started my brand. And so it's just crazy. So like, so it's all intertwined. Ronnie Harris, we began making beats together. Ronnie's a phenomenal, extremely talented producer, but like just that group, the Puzzle People, just that whole group. Deas, she's running blogs, and she was sitting in our front room while me and LTZ and Beat Man were recording, and she was just there. So like it's just crazy to see the influence that she has in not only hip hop culture here, but like abroad. Like she's like L.A., Atlanta vibes, doing it real big. But and then I don't say anything about JB. I mean, JB, best to ever do it. And it's just facts. I'm not trying to be throw shade on anybody. Shouts out to Nitro. Sight out to everybody. But like mainframe family. Shouts out to everybody. Culture Shock. But I mean, JB, that brother. You go from rapping to opening up two restaurants. Like you did it. You did that thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's my brother, man. And so like, I always, I'm just so thankful to have a part of it. And on the fashion tip, it was just a need. Just had there was nothing that really at the time represented um, that culture. I think you had other genres or other backgrounds trying to, just trying to infiltrate and serve our demographic, but it was just like, GrpFly stands for this, a group of people elevated to a higher destination, and this is like my 10th year, and, I haven't done everything right, like, I'll say that, but it's just like, it's really the hip hop community that's supported us to get to this point, And we're not where we want to be, but man, we sure ain't where we came from. So I mean, I'm excited. So like I don't know very many, guys, could say, hey man, I wake up and I kind of do what I want. I wake up, come to my own office, come to my own showroom, and create. And so that's but a part of all of those, you know, a part of all of those shape shifting paradigm moments came from hustling, trying to get shows, trying to get people to hear us, pressing up album, scrapping money together, trying to make it work. So all these little things I look back now when I'm running this business. I mean, it's the same uh, it's the same grind but elevated. So I'm thankful for what hip hop has done in my life. Um, you know, uh, just a quick, crazy background. Like I started rapping when I was 13. I had talk about the New Jack Swing, Bell Biv DeVoe days. Triple Threat. That's the name of our group. And I started. I rapped. At a church at a time, and we would go and do all types of outreaches all throughout Kansas City, and then it just kept on elevating. And I got here. Hooked up with my good friend. Actually, no, I skipped a whole big thing. Jay Conway. Jay Conway. Was 14. We started a group called Mad Prophets. Man, I remember our first show. Man, we had like 300 kids in there. So it was just nuts. So but to see where he's brought, the hubbly bubbly and what he's doing is just, man, I'm just so thankful to see him progressing and pushing the culture. But like, me and Jay Conway had a group called Mad Prophets. I got the cassette somewhere. I might have it here, but later on when I moved to Oklahoma City, JB, Little Earth, and so we had our run there. JB went on to do his thing, and Disciples, like a world class cyclist. He can ride a bike. I don't know, he's crazy. He's somewhere in Australia or somewhere riding a bike, but hip hop is it's huge, man. It's the voice of the generation, man. So I feel like my train of thought. I was going somewhere with that.
So when you were rapping, who would you compare yourself to? Like what type of rapper was you?
Man, I would say, I was like in my mind, I felt like, I was like, like a mix between Wu Tang, KRS-One, uh, Old Dirty Bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just have to, just I always want to give people that emotion and that feel and that fun. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit of MF Doom. Just but my favorite, who I patted myself at. There was a group called I'm on a Freestyle Fellowship. Changed my life. AC Alone, Abstract Rude. Abstract Rude is one of my favorite rappers. So, of course, if you say that, if I'm not really thinking out loud, I'll say, oh, I love Kanye, I like Jay-Z, but like I grew up listening to Abstract Rude. It's my favorite rapper. If you have a chance, get on your Tidal, your iTunes, Haiku D'etat, Freestyle Fellowship, Abstract Rude, Mike and Nine, all those guys. You welcome. You know what I'm saying? You welcome. So like, I just love the wordplay. So I would say I patted myself after them for sure. You know what I'm saying? It may be a little too close, but like they were so underground, ain't nobody know where they were. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, dude, the flow, like yeah. Now this is not that I've bitten in their rhymes, but just the way they presented the lyrics, the way that they would flip words and use, the voice as an instrument. And so it's those guys were pioneers, and so that for sure, Freestyle Fellowship had a heavy influence on what I did, and Wu Tang, and just the early 2000s, 90s, the Wu, Hieroglyphics. They're another group that I love to listen to. The Tunnel Rats. Shouts out to my man Propaganda. The Tunnel Rats. I mean, right in there. The Tunnel Rats. I mean, being a man of faith, an ordained ministry, like the Tunnel Rats were like Christian battle rappers, when like they would take you out. Yeah, that sounds like an oxymoron, but I mean some of the coldest. So shouts out to Journey Big, Dax, Reynosa, Shane's Worthy, and then Propaganda. Everybody, he's probably one of the world's leading poets. Creative minds, cultural activist. But community activist. He's a outstanding dude. But like one of my favorite one of my favorite groups of all time, the Tunnel Rats, hands down. You know, Tunnel Rats, Freestyle Fellowship, right there.
So, are you saying that you battle rap?
Man, I like, everybody battle rap when the 8 Mile came out. You know what I'm saying? So like, there was I said we had a thing called the Samurai, and people were like, Vern, what you do it, do it. So like, I got into, I think I got into the second round. My first battle ever was against Duo, and it wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't pretty at all, because I didn't really, I'm like, man, I'm about to cipher, man. So I'm sitting there just flowing, and this dude just like, I mean, just insults my soul, But other than that, man, that's my brother. So after that, it's like, we're homies for life. But yeah, like I had a stint of battle rapping. Like I think I got like third runner up at the Samurai, and James Coop. If you ever get a chance to hear some of his music, you'll understand why I lost. This dude's insane. He's insane.
So why do you think it is that battle rappers are able to destroy each other, and then it just goes on, like life goes on, everything's cool, but
Yeah.
like other rappers and mainstream rappers, a little diss here and there, and it becomes so much with the beefs and all that.
Well, I mean, a lot of it. Let's just look at the art. Hip hop's a sport. A boxing match, spar, and knock each other's heads off, and walk away. Like, hey man, that was a good fight, brother. Hey, let's go get a steak. Same thing with hip hop. Like if you respect the culture, if you know the art, it becomes something to where like, man, that's a good spar. That's a good fight. And if you're able to, I'm so appreciative of what Ronnie and Tyler Reid have done with the School of Thought. They are pushing the art form of rhyming and MCing, and it's a sport. You should be able to walk away and have feelings, because it's that man's job to find up everything about you and expose it and exploit it to his benefit as an MC. But if you can respect the art, man, you could definitely respect another man's craft. So going back to today's society, like it's all marketing. So you gotta admit, like, what sells controversy. And so if somebody can, and I'm amazed, I guarantee these individuals are getting together and say, hey man, I got an album coming out. Because nobody, the beef always happens when albums come out. It's like, nobody, when everybody is like, not rapping or not hot, what I'm saying? Like, nobody has beef, it's all peace, but when, Machine Gun Kelly, this is Eminem, oh, it's dropped in a 12-song album, smart, what I'm saying? And so it's just like, it ain't nothing new, but like, with social media and the way that, news travels so fast through, social networks, it's like, yeah, it's a great free marketing. You have to pay anybody. Just get up and say, so-and-so, I got a problem with this, that, drop a diss track, drop 16 bars, and make a cool million, you know what I'm saying? So I know. And I don't know, I don't know behind the scenes or behind the cloak what it really is, but it just appears to me like if a grown man has that much of an issue, I think it would escalate a little bit further than Twitter tweets. So that's my theory on that. Right, wrong, or different, but that's what I think on that type of stuff. I just feel like it's more marketing than anything else.
So with the GrpFly, what year did you start that?
Man, I started in 2008, October 2008. Okay. And so the idea was crazy. I mean, it was like, at the time, I was I was an inspirational, speaker, speaking in churches and, groups and different functions. And then, also doing hip hop, quite extensively. My wife and I were looking to have, to start a family. So we had saved up money, like about 10 racks for a minivan. And I just felt like, man, like, I'm not going to travel as much, like this is not like, I really have a vision for a brand, and so with that, the main thing with that was, we took that money, invested it into a brand, and, that's our first lookbook actually in that little deal right there, but like, we, Duo's in it, JB's in it, Disciples in it, DJ DL's in it, I mean, it's crazy, and so like, we just took some very professional pictures, so we had Travis, and we just put the energy out there, and so back then there wasn't no all you have is MySpace. You know what I'm saying? So like we would set up at shows, you know, and from there, you know, it just began to grow. And so like I always wanted to, you know, make a brand and do it well, you know, and that's just, you know, it's kind of like my gift and my curse at the same time. Like anything I do, I want to do it well. A lot of people get me construed as, hey, man, like I said, like Brian's a jerk. You don't ever come out. You don't ever say what's up, man, because I'm working. And if I'm not working, I'm with my family. So it's like, no, but no, I know, like the people keep me up to date with what's going on, and so like, you know, that's why I'm honored first of all that you're here. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, with GrpFly, you know, we wanted to, like I said, create something that represented the culture, you know, and you know, I'm not saying I'm the only one that does that now, but I think, you know, you gotta admit, like the group of people I came up with, the puzzle people, the nemesis, the mainframe, the nitro, and you gotta recognize that, man, we paved the way. You know what I'm saying? You know, we were, you know, JB and Keys, and when we was walking George and keeping it fresh, you know what I'm saying? You know, making it happen. So it's just like, you know, I look at our journey. We've had a lot of up and downs. You know, like we've had great people that have come alongside of us and help us to do great things. You know, we've been able to get in the Zoomies. We did something with Kevin Durant, but also like, you know, we're progressing. You know, and we just had we had a collab with one of my favorite brands of all time, and that's Leader Chicago. And that's like that's like, for me, that's like the Michael Jordan of like, you know, urban streetwear. It was a guy that had a brand, a concept, and opened up 2 flagship stores in Chicago, had one on Michigan Ave. 2 of his employees right now are one of the biggest names in streetwear, Joe Fresh, Big Lloyd. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I got a collab with him. Little old rinky-dink OKC burn, you know, so it's crazy. So, you know, shout out to my man David, shout out to my man Corey Gilkey. And so, but, I mean, I remember taking this lookbook to walking it into leaders and trying to, like, get it into the store, and then, like, 9 years later, got a collab with them. So, you know, and so what I'm saying is like, you know, if you got a dream, you know, you got to go for it. Or, you know, our tagline is fly or die. You know, you're either taking up space or you're elevating to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So I believe everybody has a God-given gift. Today's not promised, tomorrow's not promised. So like, man, elevate. You know, whatever your dream is, push towards that. And so, and I think that comes from the spirit of hip hop. You know, it's like, you know, whatever is in your hand. If you're a DJ, if you're a b-boy, if you're an MC, a graph writer, you know, if you just enjoy the culture, like, you know, what gifts do you have to push the culture along or to progress yourself? And that's what we want to celebrate, you know, with our brand. So, you know, our design process is simple. We just do what we feel. We do what we love. We're bringing on different designers right now, which I'm gonna turn 41. You know, so like, you know, I believe like 1977 has a special kind of like code. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm gonna tell people that are born in '77, Kanye, Pusha T, we got a code. We got a code. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a code. There's a pulse. There's a wave that I believe that's, you know, vibrated in there. But like, it's like, but at the same time, I recognize that, you know, this is built for the culture, for somebody to come on. So like, I've got 2 great guys that are working with me right now, David Meadows and my man Seth Kellerman. You know, just some great young talented guys that are just hungry. And so, you know, they're you know, I'm telling you right now, like, they're taking the reins, you know. And so like, I'm going to look for some GrpFly real estate. That's where we're going. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I want to see, you know, the urban, the hip hop dollar, you know, the African American dollar. I want to see it grow exponentially in Oklahoma, and that's just what it is. And so like, you know, I've been involved in some deals, you know, that they weren't right deals, you know, but that's my passion. So like that's really what I'm on right now, is how can we get more creatives, you know, more guys from the culture, you know, more ladies from the culture. You know, how can we get them resources to do what they need to do? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'll admit, in 2010, 2011, you know, I literally, you know, was working at a pretty large faith-based organization here, and this wasn't like, man, I had something in my heart. I like getting paid well. I was like, man, I can't do this no more. I need to do what's in my heart. So I jumped out, raised some money through my nonprofit to kind of like, do some things. And then like 4 months after I left, that awesome job, like all the money I fundraised, the person that was donating that money reneged on it. So here I am, a wife, a kid, nothing, so just the brand and the idea. And so, I began just, the Lord began to work out ways. I began to speak throughout that, had different youth camps, different graphic design gigs. In October 2010, I had $100 in my bank account, mortgage due in a week. And I did what I always do. Lord, what we gonna do? And, worked it out, got a meeting, and then another week later I had $200,000 in my bank account. I had an investment. So it's just like, but you have to take those steps. A lot of times I see a lot of talented people and they don't take the steps, like I see a lot of talented MCs, like, bro, you got to go to Dallas and Houston and shut it down. Like, get in your car and go. Shoot videos, get brief. You need to be shooting content. And so, but I think it's just the fear, just that, but you gotta make it happen. Like, and that's where, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, I got all these stuff going on, but the baseline is you got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to tie into a higher power. You got to put your feet on the ground, and you got to like go. And so like if I don't work, if I don't make deals, like I got 3 kids, a beautiful wife, a mortgage, a car I love to drive, and listen, I got to make that happen. And so like through the grace of God, we've been able to sustain, but. I just want to encourage people, man. Like, if you're in the culture, you got a vision. For me, like, I started off rapping, and now I'm an entrepreneur. So, like, just seize the moment you're in, man. So, like, I cherish all those moments, and I cherish this culture, and I see it growing and thriving. But I'm waiting. I believe JB's knocking on a bunch of doors for MCs. Shout out to Joshua Lee as well. But I just feel like Oklahoma's due for like that. Ooh, he's from Oklahoma, and I just put, I think it's, we got the Thunder, I think we're primed for a young star, to just really to take this thing to the next level. And I'm just, I know JB's grooming some great MCs right now with Trip G and. Like, it's some good stuff, man. So,
what do you think about people that feel like they're not getting the support from the community? Like, I hear a lot of creative people or artists say, like, people don't support, they don't come out to the shows.
Right.
Do you agree with that? And do you feel that when it comes to your brand?
Right. Well, I say this. Like, if you don't have the support, go get the support. And that's just where like, again, I'm just, no gray areas, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna find the support, so like, it's just, so as an MC, as a creative, hone your craft, hone your skill, or somewhere in the closet. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Mission accomplished. You know about it. You know how we get down. And so, the thing is like, I'm always trying to get better. I'm learning. I recognize that I don't know everything. I recognize, that me as a person, like, dude, I'm 1,000%, and if you're in my way, like, I'm from the old school, like, you guys gonna get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? And that's not like, you can't operate like that. I had a good friend one time told me that he said there's strength in numbers, and like never really got it till like a couple years back. Like, oh man, that brother's right, because like, you can solo, you can get far fast, but together you can go a lot further. You know what I'm saying? So, so I think going back to that first, thought is, you number one, you gotta have a collective. You gotta have people. I look back at the puzzle people. Man, we were so powerful because man, we had a team. We it didn't matter if you didn't show up to the show because we gonna bring 50 people ourselves. It's like 30 of us, and so like we didn't have to worry about beats because we had like 8 producers. And, please rap on this, and producers didn't have to worry about finding rappers because we had like 80 of them, and so like I believe we're just ahead of our time. And so like, now I look at all these kids today. You got you could you can film a high end video on your phone. Your phone shoots 4K. Like we had
Okay.
like an NPC back in the day cost $1,800. Are you going again?
Yep.
So I'm saying like this generation today that there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to have garner a crowd. When you know everybody has a cell phone, an iPhone that shoots in 4K. I mean that's high resolution video. And full frame or whatever, slow mo, it does it all. You can actually get on the internet and teach yourself how to make a beat, how to edit a video, how to record a song. Like, I remember getting my first studio set up. It was like $4,000, 4 or 5 grand. The same setup today is like $200. Like, I mean, people making beats on iPads, like industry beats, and so like if you're not getting support, then you're. I don't want to. I don't want to speak ill of anybody, but man, you really gotta look at yourself in the mirror. Like, what am I doing as a human in 2018? Like, I mean, if I was young, I mean, honestly, I told you about it. I said I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but I'm literally gonna make an album because it's just why not? It's a promotion. Vernon's rapping again. Like why not? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tony Tone Beats. We coming for that. Appreciate that. But why not? It's marketing. Like you don't think that somebody would want the GrpFly guy is rapping? Oh, I gotta check it out. You know what I'm saying? At least they're gonna give me one look. I'm gonna get one stream. I'm at least get 2 pennies off you. And so like but I believe this. I believe man, really just take time and look at opportunity because this is what I tell people all the time. When I coach people through business or creativity, I say like, they call America the land of opportunity. They don't call Poland the land of opportunity. They don't call like another weird place. They call America because there's opportunities all around you. So like, as creatives, we got to begin to add value to those opportunities and see those moments. And so, I believe like Oklahoma is just primed and pumped and ready for this creative community in hip hop to really just seize their moment because like everybody's swag, like they're just taking our swag. You know what I'm saying? They want our crowd, they want our demographic, they want our look, they want our vibe. But I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But like, I'm just thinking in my head of there's no reason why venues and retail and shops that should be popping from indigenous people from the hip hop community, And so like, I mean, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some grants. I'm working on it, but it's just like, I just feel like through tech, knowledge, technology, social media, I mean, there's just infinite possibilities for individuals to garner support. And then listen, if you don't get support, go find it. So maybe like I've had that happen. Like like if things slow down for me in Oklahoma City, I go to Texas. They love it. It's brand new. You know what I'm saying? Went to Chicago. They love the kid. You know what I'm saying? And so like I mean, people think I'm from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And so like I'm like no, I'm from Oklahoma City. Y'all chill. But it's just like that just opens up more opportunity, more exposure, and then it just unlocks something in your brain. So sometimes looking at everybody, you're trying to get on like it's a small bubble here, and it's not a bad thing, but it's like you got a straw. You can only take so much in that straw. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go find a whole nother cup. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but when you do, don't forget about the red dirt that put you on. And so like, but I really feel like Oklahoma's prime for that next superstar, and I get excited when I see a Joey Sativa. When I see a Paris Cherez, when I see a Dom up at Tulsa, I get excited because I'm like, this dude's really, this might be able to do it, like, be on a chart somewhere. And so, and not to discredit anybody that's doing their thing or continue to do their thing, because I believe like there's a lot of mileage left in a lot of great artists and MCs, but like I'm just knowing that there's going to be that young talent with that energy and that freedom and that just next wave that is just going to be like, you know what I'm saying? And so like, shout out to Joey. Hint. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's a bad bro. That's a bad boy, man. Shout out to Joey Sativa, Paris Sherriz, DJ DB, my man Dom, LTZ, Beanie Man. Shout out to those guys. But like, it's just they gotta just do it, man. Just do it, you know.
So if you could, you named a couple of people. If you can name your top 5
Ooh.
in Oklahoma City, and if you have to categorize it like,
Okay, so, you know, these are my favorites. Okay, so like, you know, no disrespect to anybody, you know what I'm saying, but like, you know, I'm just gonna just name my favorites. I'm not gonna put them in any type of category, but these are people I enjoy personally listening to, and from Oklahoma City. So, you know, JB, I mean, it's my brother. I just love his story. I love his narrative. You know, I love who he is as a person, and he's just an authentic dude. I just love it. The next one is Duo. You know, I on a hard drive, I have a whole album that me and Duo did together. I did, you know, the beats and recorded it, but like, I mean, right now I could release that album, and it would shut down anything that's in existence. That's how talented that brother is. So, Duo for sure. I love watching Chris McCain perform because he doesn't write. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but Chris McCain doesn't write any lyrics down. Like when he performs, like he'll just go into the studio and perform. He'll get on stage and perform something similar to the deal, but like he'll just freestyle the whole set. You know, dude's amazing. So like I just love the way he raps. I love his cadence, just raw. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chris McCain. LTZ is just to see his growth as an MC. Like I listen to LTZ all day long. You know what I'm saying? And like being that when I moved to Oklahoma City, moved to the North Side, 73120. Shout out. You know, so like, you know, I had a lot of time there, and so it's that's dope. After that, let's see here. I mean, Paris. I'm just gonna name my favorites. Paris sure is. You know what I'm saying? Like low key. I'm trying to get my life straight. I really want to manage that dude. So Paris. You know, I've been a fan of his for a long time. DJ DB 405, dope DJ, doing some good stuff. Joy Sativa, and then just love Dom. Dom's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? He's a star. There's another Tulsa guys I like, MC Jerry Manna. But I mean, those are like on top. I'm probably missing a ton of people, so forgive me if I am. But you know, Beatty, you know, like whenever he decides to come out and rap again, it's just amazing. But those, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, those are my favorite. Like I can just, like I check for it. You know what I'm saying? Like good, bad, or different. I just check for them. Like if they drop something, I'm gonna listen because I just think it's dope. And so those are my favorite, hands down. I know there's a whole lot of newer talent that's out there. You know, I think I don't know them all, you know, but I'm pretty sure there's some talented guys out there. But you know, I'm still listening to '90s rap. Like I'm in here designing, listening to Wu-Tang. Right? I'm just keeping 1,000%. So like, you know, I'm nostalgic. So those guys, they have a little bit of that vibe, some of that, like I said, some of that vibration from the '90s and the '20s, so 2000s. So that's my list. I'm sticking to it. Much respect to the culture here in Oklahoma City. Not dissing nobody, but these are my favorites. These are my guys. So.
Do you have any last statement? Or just...
Yeah, I think my last statement is always look at the bigger picture. You know, and that's something that where I've been so, you know, as a creative entrepreneur, as a kind of like a visionary, you know, some would say, you know, I'm always living in the future. But, you know, I think the thing that's so important is you got to see the bigger picture. You know, you got to recognize, like, where you're at, you know, in life and where you've come from and the journey and the struggle and look at the things that the Lord or, you know, the man upstairs is blessing with you. is blessing you. You know, so like I think it's always just important for this community of creatives, hip hop, is, man, just seize your moment and then look at the bigger picture. Recognize that the individuals that are in the scene, there'll never be a scene like that again. You know, I visualize in my head like Wednesday night, like a night like night, Wednesday night, pulling up to the Samurai that used to be right up the street on May, 63rd of May, you know, and just walking in and just walking into a community of people that just have my back and were happy to see me, and I was happy to see them. We vibed on music, we freestyle, ciphered. I mean, just it's just like those moments are amazing. So like, I mean, when you think about your role in the culture, whether you're a participant, whether you're a fan, whether you're an artist, whether you're a promoter, you know, take time to sit back and like, man, you're a part of the narrative that's Oklahoma hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So whether, you know, whether like you feel like you don't have the support, or whether you feel like it's not big enough, or why, or how come this, come that, man, just kill all that. You know, like look at the bigger picture that you are a part of the narrative. You're, whether you pushed it an inch forward or whether you push it 3 miles forward, you know, you pushed it forward, and like, you know, the culture is thankful for that, you know, and I think everybody could, you know, take some pride in that, you know. So, you know, for me, you know, like, you know, I'm always, you know, thinking how can we get these things to pop? How can we get people to know us, you know, and how come like they're not putting my guys on when people come into town? But sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's just about like, you know, whatever increment you're pushing it forward, the culture forward, man, at least you're pushing it forward, and and be happy about that. And so like, you know, for GrpFly, you know, we're going to continue to do what we do and network and push people forward, and you know, take young talent and give them a platform, give them a template to create, and and hopefully people. That's why we fight for it. That's why I wake up at 5:30 to make sure I'm here to like keep this thing going. You know, that's why I create other businesses so I can keep this thing going, because I believe like it matters. You know, I believe that, you know, there has to be a voice that represents, you know, who we are as a culture. You know, and I believe that's us. And then, you know, shouts out to the other brands I love coming up. But shouts out to Chop, man, Person for Trap House. You know, like, you know, season apparel. I love what I'm seeing there. It's like that's another voice. We need that. You know, we need that. You know, and so like when I see, you know, that you know, it's great. Shout out to my man Darion Flacco. Shout out to Doe. You know, Deas, Renard. Like, you know, the voice has to be there. You know, Jimmy Wonder. You know, what you're doing at the laboratory. Like Micah, Caleb at 1032. You know, like they're kids of hip hop. You know, and so it's like, you know, those voices are needed, and so embrace the moment, embrace the journey, and just dream big, dream big. That's one thing that I've been heavy on people. Is like, you know, dream big, man. Take time and write out where you want to be at, and, and you'll get there. You're like, you know, I wanted this. I wrote this out. That's why we're sitting here and talking, in, you know, our showroom. You know, it's like, well, if your showroom ain't big as Yeezy's, but we got one though. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my little 500 square foot space, you know, that we get to create and catch a vibe, and, you know, but it's like, but that just didn't happen. We thought about it. You know, we took the risks, we took the chances, and we pushed ourselves towards that. And so like, as an artist, dream big, man. If you want to be on tour with Drake, write that down and think, literally think. You know, again, I'm an ordained minister, so I got to break it down. So, like, you know, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, if you can think it, and if it's in your heart, it's going to come to you. So it's like, you know, think about it. Like, if you want to tour with Drake, what do you have to do? You got to get this type of support. You got to have this type of content. You got to have this type of beat. You have to be on this type of level. There's your plan. You know what I'm saying? So you going to fly or you going to die? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what are you going to do today? What steps are you taking to progress forward? And I said, even if it's an inch, it's still a step closer than where you were yesterday. And so that's why I teach my teams, like, you know, great. I love our goals, but let's take a step today. What we got to do? Who we got to call? Where we got to go? What we got to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you know, what do we have to do to get closer? And so, and sometimes it's a larger plan, but we're working this plan, and so little steps create big momentum. So that's what it is. And like, thank you guys so much. I believe like this story needs to be told, and I'm grateful. I know you've been working, you know, tirelessly on this. So like, I heard some of the dates you were saying, like when you interview people. So this is a beautiful thing, and like again, I'm just honored to be a part of it. You know, and I thank you for coming, taking the time to come talk to me. Like I said, I don't take it lightly. I think a lot of people get it twisted because like I'm just like the here or there. You see me pop on the internet and then I'm gone. I don't know, you know, but I'm really like I'm just focused, you know, and I really want, you know, I believe I mean, my time on earth is short, average person lives 75, 80 years. That's 80 summers. That's not a whole lot. And so I just want to like, you know, I want to invest in my children. I want to leave something for them. But man, I want to create a blueprint for our culture just to walk down. So like the mistakes I had, the $60,000 mistakes, the $100,000 mistakes I made, man, they don't have to go through that. And so they can learn from my mistakes instead of going left, they can go right and really like take it on to the touchdown, really make it happen. So, but I believe the talent's out there. I believe Oklahoma's a talented place, and you know, again, I love Oklahoma, and so like I get offers all the time, and you should move to Houston, you should move to LA, you should move to New York, whatever you're doing, you add 3 zeros to that, we get it popping. It's like, man, I love Oklahoma, man. And so I come out there, but I gotta fly right back.
Cause we need you here.
Right, I love being here, and so like, so we're Oklahomans, we're Oklahoma proud, and we love this culture. And thank you for everybody that supports GrpFly. If you ever bought a shirt, if you ever came to a pop-up, if you ever came to an event, if you ever left a like message on any of our Instagram posts, you know, even if you brought up some whack, negative, false stuff, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, because that's promotion, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because we need haters too. You know, haters is we need a positive and a negative, because it all comes together to paint a beautiful picture. And so again, I sound like somebody's dad because I'm 41. I'm just dropping knowledge, man. I'm just saying that the talent's here and the personnel's here for this to be great, and I appreciate you documenting that. So that's it. I'm out.